Welcome to episode 14 of VGXL. I'm your host Daniel, aka Games, and with me again today we have AutoCAD and El Torrente, aka Dakota and Jose. And if you're not already following, follow us on Twitter at VGXL Podcast or Instagram at Videogamesxlife. What up, homies? How you doing?
What up, gangsta? What's up?
It's our first video podcast. We're recording our lovely faces. Hopefully you guys are, if you're listening on through the audio track only, you can find us on YouTube. It should be Videogamesxlife on YouTube.
Just type in video games, you'll find us eventually.
Yeah, it'll be there. It should. Yeah, I believe I have it under Video
I don't think they got many video. If you type in video games on YouTube, you'll find us real quick. I don't think they have much video game stuff up there.
On YouTube? Yeah, I don't think so.
We're easy to find.
But yeah, we decided we wanted to try something a little bit different. By the time you hear this, hopefully all of the episodes should be up on YouTube, and our latest 14 here that you're listening to will be the first you'll see our beautiful faces showing up here. And yeah, and if for everybody who watches my stream, you already know I stream at Videogamesxlife on Twitch, where you can see me on Mondays and Fridays, usually around 9 to midnight. But yeah, how was you guys' weekend and week? Everything good?
Yeah,
pretty smooth, man. Can't complain. It's been pretty chill.
Week.
Yeah, same here. You know, just I'm like in a weird like state right now where I'm like I played too much Yakuza, so I had to put that down. I'm just like I don't know what to start. I'm waiting for Cyberpunk to get patched.
Bro. Should have paced yourself.
I know, but Hitman's out, so
that's right.
that's scoring pretty high. So I think I'm gonna go with start the Hitman franchise.
Did you play the other ones, the old ones?
Not at all. So I'm gonna start that.
None of them?
Oh wow.
Nah, none of them.
Oh wow.
I haven't really touched them too much either.
Yeah,
but at least you probably do that.
You tried them a little bit though, right?
Yeah, I touched Hitman 2.
Okay.
A little bit. So
I got seen some of it. My son I know has played it. And he's tried to show me some stuff, but there's always something to play, so I never got around to it. But I'll pick it up soon. Well, I already have 1 and I believe 2, so I just gotta play them.
It's getting some good reviews.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Got like a 9 on one site that I read, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, everything's been like 9 or 4.5 out of 5 and shit like that. So it's done really well, and it looks fire. Like graphically, all the gunplay looks a little better too.
So, yeah, no, I'm sure. I like stealth. I don't even know why I never played it because I love stealth.
Did
you play Dishonored?
Nah, I haven't played that either.
What? Oh wow, you don't like stealth then? You're a liar.
I know, right?
You're a liar.
Listen, man, we come from the golden age of stealth, okay?
You don't know about stealth.
Games like Tenchu and Metal Gear.
Yeah, true. That's true.
What was the first stealth game? Was it Tenchu?
Thief.
The first ever stealth game? Might have been
like
Metal
the
Gear.
one that executed it. Well, no. Tenchu came out before Metal Gear.
No, I'm talking about like original Metal Gear, but you mean 3D stealth?
Oh yeah. Like I'm talking about like play in the PlayStation era.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, like you said, either Tenchu or Metal Gear. I gotta be one of those.
In 1981, Sega released an arcade game called 005. And it holds the Guinness World Record. Well, it holds the Guinness World Record for being the first stealth game. So there you go. That's it. 005.
Oh, shit.
All right, but what about PlayStation? Like in the era where we actually gave a shit.
Yo, you're being way too picky. There's so many.
PlayStation. Futuristic.
I guess that's probably the first time they could actually make you feel like you're being stealth by going around buildings and, you know.
Yeah,
that's true.
Tenchu Stealth Assassins. That was it.
Oh wow. Yeah. So Kojima copied them. He was like, you know what? No, he didn't, because he came out with stealth back in the 80s. So
yeah. And I mean, it was so they came out really close to each other, because I remember when Tenchu came out, a few months later, Metal Gear was out. So it's like barely enough time to copy.
Was it that close? Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, they came out in the same year. It was 98.
But I mean, Metal Gear Solid is literally like a kind of a loose remake of Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So in a sense, it definitely wasn't a copy.
He did. I mean, no. I wouldn't have thought for any reason at all that Kojima copied that.
And I mean, what he did with stealth was so beyond what Tenchu was pulling off.
Yeah.
Tactical espionage.
Tactical espionage.
I like that they were entirely different. They felt like completely different games.
Oh yeah, It's not like it wasn't anything like a
Fucking
knockoff or anything at all.
Yeah,
nah. Have you guys ever seen the I think it's the Unreal Engine intro where they redid everything when he comes in on the mini submersible?
I've seen that.
That
I've
shit
seen
is
that.
fire. You should check it out.
I should gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's cool as hell.
Metal Gear, a game
Mhm.
will never get old, man.
I know.
Too
I gotta
good.
do a playthrough of that. I haven't played that in years. I gotta play the original one.
You should on stream. I would watch that because I kind of want to play that again myself.
Yeah, and
Classic.
I have it when they Oh, actually, yeah. They released the GOG gave it out the PC version, so maybe I'll mess around with that one because that one looks a little bit better than the PS1 version, obviously.
Yeah. Can
All
you mod
right.
that? That'd be cool. Anyways, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I guess let's time to move on to the
There it is.
It's getting better and better, man. Every time.
I'm trying. I was gonna talk about one thing, but I found something today that piqued my interest. I think it'll pique you guys as well.
Okay.
We got some more Red Dead. GTA 6 leaks, potential leaks. So apparently, yeah, there was what was it? It was a data miner was data mining in GTA in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
2, and apparently they found something along the lines of parachuting and things that sound like would be in a GTA game, but those files don't exist in GTA 5, and you're not gonna have parachuting and planes and stuff in Red Dead Redemption. So everyone's speculating that it has to be coming. There's too many little every time something's about to get announced or drop or whatever, you always see the leaks or speculation starts ramping up crazy. So
Rockstar's really good at leaks too.
Yeah, know, they have a backdoor in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like on the low, they have like a backdoor server where they're testing shit out on that engine.
Probably.
I'm sure it's using the engine. I mean, why wouldn't you use your latest engine?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're gonna build up from there. And this game is a long time coming. So
well, this ties in. I thought you were gonna mention apparently Rockstar or Take-Two rather, they just they filed a patent for new AI.
Oh, for the NPCs, right?
For NPCs to navigate. So it's like vehicular navigation as well as it sounds like just interaction and navigation. So for humans too.
Yeah, like I've been reading about that.
So and this is what next gen for me is all about. It's like getting better, like smarter NPCs and more realistic worlds and that kind of nature. So sounds fire to me. And now with this news that you're dropping.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Things are getting spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, I have that flew under the radar for me. I didn't even see anything about that.
Yeah, bro, apparently that patent's supposed to be delivering NPCs we've never seen in any other game.
Yeah,
I'm
VG247.com talked about it. A few websites dropped that
I'm surprised. Yeah, I haven't checked VG 24/7 in a minute.
Check it out, man.
Lately, what I noticed is comic book. Oh, excuse me, comicbook.com actually has a lot of good game news as well.
Yeah, I go for them for like all the animation stuff, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's cool because that's so much. And then I checked the gaming sections. I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of good news in here.
Yeah, they're solid.
Like they report more on it seems like they report more on rumors than a lot of the bigger sites, which I like. Sometimes rumors are fun to read about,
Yeah.
And you said this was on where? Comicbook.com?
Well, no, I say I usually peruse. Well, where I read about GTA 6 leak in Red Dead was through Comic Book.
Okay.
But yeah, and speaking of that, and I was actually discussing this privately. The Star Wars Battlefront 3 is also getting like rumored and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I mean, we're due for one. Battlefield 6. Well, you know what? That's also on the horizon. But
it's free today until tomorrow.
Yeah, it was free all week. Yeah, on Epic. And once it dropped on Epic, I was like, that means that they're gonna be announcing something soon. It has to. But even before that, there was like people, the more popular leakers were saying that it's coming and that it's gonna be showing up soon. And there's been like little hints, just like with the GTA stuff. And then all of a sudden they give out part 2 for free. I'm like, they only give out when the bigger games are giving out for free is because they're going to be sunsetting it soon or a sequel's coming out, which is the same thing. They're sunsetting it because the sequel's coming out.
Yeah, so I heard they stopped working on it like completely. Like they stopped working on everything pretty much else that they had and just kind of disappeared. So
Yeah, I
probably
believe it. And then we're getting, I mean, and just really quick, since I mentioned it already, Battlefield is and you might like this AutoCAD. They're saying the leaker, this is still, take it with a grain of salt, 'cause it's still a rumor, but
don't say shit about KOTOR. I'll fight you.
no, about battle, it's about Battlefield.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just gonna say really quick that 6 or whatever it's gonna be called is rumored to be a reboot and more based a modern, based on modern, more modern, and
Yeah.
based on Battlefield 3. And I'm so they're trying to
Ooh.
go back to basics. And I know
Ooh.
you like Battlefield 3, right?
I love Battlefield 3. The sniping in Battlefield 3 was some of the most satisfying fucking sniping, bro. Love it.
Yeah, I remember you like Battlefield 3. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
they're saying that that's the rumor that they're gonna be basing the next one on part 3. So I'm like,
Oh, I'm
if
into
that's
that.
true, that'll be fire. I want a modern Battlefield anyway, because Call of Duty's
Yeah,
trying to do it, and I don't know, they don't have the same feel as Battlefield does when it comes to those big team battles or the giant. That's
exactly.
Halo lingo there, but the
Yeah.
giant conquest. They just, I know Call of Duty's like
Yeah.
filling the void, but I don't. They
It's
don't
not the
have what.
same.
It's missing something.
Yeah, and if they can nail the destructibility like they did in 4, but like with the
Exactly.
mechanics of 3, that would be so fire. Imagine like a Warzone type, sort of like a battle royale type situation
And that's
with
what
like
they're saying.
collapsible buildings and
128
stuff.
players.
Oh,
Oh
that would be
wow.
so fire with
Yo, imagine
tanks and
64 v 64 with with
yeah,
destructibles. Oh man, that
I
sounds
Simon.
like a lot of fun.
That'd be fucking nuts.
Can you imagine? Yeah, I'm
So
in.
we'll see. I mean, they skipped 2 years because the shitstorm that Battlefield 1 was, that a lot of people didn't like it. They didn't like the time to kill. They didn't but this. Oh, well, not Battlefield 1 though. Whatever World War 2 was, the World War 2 version.
Yeah, it was
And
it
a
was
lot,
bad. It was whack.
yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. That came out in 2018
Yeah.
or 19. Yeah, it
No,
was in the
I don't.
2018.
Yeah, I want to say 18. Yeah, it was
And
like
usually it's on a
two.
2-year
The
cycle, but
guns
they didn't.
sucked.
It was supposed to come out in 2020, and they said, "No, we're gonna go back to the drawing board, and we need to make it up. Come back with a bang."
I
Yeah,
respect it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So we'll
better than
see.
putting out some bullshit.
Fuck yeah,
Exactly.
I'm down.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'll take over real quick. I mean, you have more news, right? Just for that piece.
No, that's it for the
Oh, okay.
news. I'm done.
Oh, my bad. And some news that I found that was pretty dope. So I was always in like Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, and so Ninja Theory today kind of revealed some more, or not, yeah, not today, but earlier, um, revealed some of their gameplay for the new game they're making, and it's just like dope. Like it's really, really crazy photorealistic. Have you guys seen it at all?
What's it
They're
called?
using like, I don't even know if it has a new.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
No.
might not have a. It's Project Mara or Project Mara, pretty much.
Okay, I think I heard of that, but no, I don't. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
they're using like brand new techniques and stuff to just recreate like real spaces as photorealistically as possible. And if you like just check out the video, it's insane how it looks. Like it's, I can't imagine this in VR. Like shit's gonna get crazy real soon. I hope at least, because this
That's
stuff looks
gnarly.
bananas.
No,
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's what I'm waiting for. Like, it looks like a lot of these big games are gonna be coming out in the next, like, by next year we're gonna start seeing that fire. I really can't wait for
yeah,
ground up these
yeah.
from the ground up next gen titles already.
Hell yeah. And then Nintendo Switch. Well, there's more rumors of a Nintendo Switch Pro coming out. I don't know how real it is, but seems like a few spots have been like talking about it, not just like one or two.
Mm.
But I
So it's
think
picking up
maybe
some steam.
yeah. So it
Yeah.
seems like it's picking up steam, and it's been like 4 years, so it might be time for a little refresh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming because they've been before the mini release. They said that a more powerful one and a mini one was gonna come out. We got the mini, we haven't got the more powerful one, and then there's also the rumor of telling the devs to make games 4K capable. So
So there you go. Yep.
yeah, so
Yeah.
hopefully, I'm like, let's make this happen already. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I would love like a 4K screen on that thing. It's about time. Like, seems like really outdated without it right now, at least.
Yeah, or at least be able to do it on a monitor. Because I
Yeah,
have a feeling what we'll get is a 1080p screen and then out an ability to output to 4K.
4K.
And it probably
Yeah.
won't be 60 though. It'll probably be like 4K 30
Yeah,
on
no
Nintendo.
Nintendo probably. Yeah. Moving on to something else I was super hype about. Fall. You guys played Fallout New Vegas, right?
Right.
No,
I played
Wow.
I know Obsidian at their best.
Yeah, you're tripping. But So yeah, it was definitely one of the best ones. And so their modding community is wild for this game. And apparently some dudes have been working on this for like years, and they just released it. It's called Fallout: The Frontier, but it's legit like 60 hours of new gameplay, like 3 major quests, 60 plus side quests, weapons, armors, like all that shit. Apparently
Wow.
recorded like tens of thousands of lines of new dialogue and shit.
Damn.
So it's like a major, like, yeah, it's like a brand new release almost. So I think you can go to the Nexus Mods website and you can download that. And yeah, just fire.
That's awesome.
Um,
Damn. Just from a
yeah,
mod? That's crazy.
yeah, it's cool. And then other than that, I have just the Bloober team. You know, they released the requirements for the medium, the PC requirements to run it, and it's not too bad. You can do all right with an i5, a 1650 Super, or like the 1060 GTX. So
Yeah, but
pretty
did
standard.
you notice like all their freaking? It's only for 30 frames.
I mean,
None of,
yeah, that's like, yeah, that's their
so
absolute
weird.
lowest. Oh, shit, you're right. Everything is only for 30 frames.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I just
weird. I was
noticed
like,
that.
the fuck?
That
But
is
we'll
weird.
see. Like I said, I'm gonna play. I have a Series X, so I'm like, I want to play an Xbox exclusive already on it. So,
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. I'm
yeah,
probably just. I mean, even though I have it preloaded for Game Pass on PC, but then I'm like, you know what? I should just go do it play it on the actual Xbox.
yeah. Word. Yeah, that'd be cool, and then we can compare a little bit,
That's true.
see
Yeah.
if there's any differences or anything like that. But yeah, that's it for me. What about you? Oh, Torrente, what you got?
Okay, well, for me, in very exciting news, I've talked many times on this podcast about I'm an avid fan of
Street Fighter
Mortal
Five.
Kombat. Oh yeah,
Oh.
Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter Five. What? Fuck that game. I'm a major fan of Mortal Kombat, and in the last few days, we've gotten quite a bit of news, and we have some reveals. All right, so we finally got our first look at the characters, and I mean, I won't lie, they look true to the game. Like we got Liu Kang, images of Liu Kang, Kung Lao, looking almost identical to their video game counterparts. We have an image of Joe Taslim um, and Scorpion, it seems, and apparently the movie's supposed to open up with a 10-minute battle between Scorpion and Sub Zero back in feudal Japan, and it looks like they're just wearing like their old garb, like their traditional Japanese outfits.
Yeah,
No masks, nothing like that. They're just rival clans battling it out. Um, they have an image of Jax with the cybernetic arms, looking like he's holding something back, using a lot of strength. Don't know who he's fighting. I'd like to say that maybe that's Shao Kahn. It looks like there's a hammer involved. I could be completely wrong. Um, Sonya and Kano, everything looks great. I can't lie. The game looks. I mean, the movie looks pretty. The characters look really good. They have an image
yeah,
of Sub Zero masked, and he's like bringing out a sword, which is something he did in the Mortal Kombat 11 game. Um,
yeah,
not Mortal Kombat 11, the reboot of Mortal Kombat, pretty much. So when it first came to next gen consoles, Mortal Kombat, it was what, the ninth installment, I believe, and that was kind of like they just named it Mortal Kombat. It was a reboot of the series. He has a move where he just kind of like makes a sword out of ice, and he's doing that in the movie. So everything looks pretty awesome with it. The synopsis says that a bunch of people have this dragon emblem on them, and they get called to be a part of this tournament, and they confirmed a new character, Cole Young, which is the character that I had suspected for a long time is playing Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage has not been mentioned at all in the game, in the movie. He's not has not been casted as far as I know. This new character, Cole Young, is supposed to be like our window into the Mortal Kombat world. He's like a washed up MMA fighter who has a young daughter,
I was
and
about to ask too. I was like, who the hell is this dude? All
yeah,
right.
he's just like a guy who has some type of tie to the Mortal Kombat universe, and he doesn't really know how. All I know is that Sub Zero is sent to go seek him out and bring him to the tournament, like Shang Tsung sends Sub Zero out to go get him.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
my guess is, and this is just me talking out loud, I probably won't get this complex. I just find it weird that they would leave a major character like Johnny Cage out of the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's January 20th. None of this has been out yet. Let's hope I'm right. I'm gonna say that maybe this is a cool spin and you find out midway or halfway through midway through the movie, maybe the end of the movie, that this Cole Young character is actually Johnny Cage studying for a role for a new movie. I think that'd be a cool way to spin it. Like, you think he's this fucking washed up MMA guy who's like living this hard life and gets pulled into the tournament, but in reality, he's Johnny Cage all along, like just taking his role crazy serious.
Just
And
doing some method acting.
yeah, some method acting, and they spin it that way, and you find out he's Johnny Cage. Because I've seen the comments, I've seen some of the actors, uh, commenting on people's comments in Facebook and Instagram saying that they're unhappy with the fact that Johnny Cage hasn't been casted, and they're in there talking about, yeah, he's
Yeah.
fans of Johnny Cage won't be disappointed. So I mean, who
I'm
knows?
just saying, this dude looks like he could fit the part.
Yeah, I
You know what I
think that
mean?
he would
Yeah.
make a great Johnny Cage. He's
Yeah.
Asian. All they have to say is that he's a fucking Johnny Cage is no longer white. What the fuck? We do it all the time.
That's true.
So,
Unacceptable.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
happens all the time. We do it all the time. So why not?
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, there's
That'd be
no
dope.
word on Johnny Cage yet. Everybody's kind of questioning where he is. So that's
See,
big news.
I hope that if it is the case that that's true, that it stays a secret for a decent amount of time, because I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that's like one of those things you'll start hearing leaks about it.
yeah,
I hope
yeah,
not.
exactly. That's how, I don't know how they've managed to keep even. I did not see one costume leak, not one image. This COVID shit helped everything because they're so tight about who has to be on set, and they're minimizing the amount of people who are allowed to be there, that there's no, like, pretty much you're going to get bagged if a video or picture leaks because people know exactly who was there.
Yeah,
Not like you have
That's true.
random people walking across the set and shit.
they
Uh,
definitely named the shoot like Medea 15. Medea
yeah,
versus Cat
exactly,
King.
exactly. And I mean, and
No one's
also
interested.
they shot. They also shot like in Adelaide Studios in Australia, for the
Oh,
most
okay.
part. And I don't know how much people or paparazzi out there is on top of that kind of shit, or like, not paparazzi, but like entertainment biz kind of uh
Yeah,
diggers out there.
it's
So
probably close set. They probably not fucking around.
yeah, yeah. And I mean,
So
it's coming out directly on HBO Max. I might go to the theater to see it just because I was there for the original, and
mhm.
I feel like I owe it to myself to say, yeah, man, I went for the first one and the reboot. 25 years later, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, fair
That's true.
enough. Yeah.
I mean, and another thing is, I'm a fan of seeing these types of big, like these. If the movie is really good and has these big moments, I'm gonna regret not seeing it in the theater. You know.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Um.
It'll probably be dope in the theater. Good energy. People be bugging out. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. In other news, in 2020, it's no surprise the COVID pandemic definitely had a lot of people stuck home doing a lot of video gaming and working from home. So video game spending hits a record of 56.9 billion in 2020.
Nice.
That is nuts.
Chump change, my friend. Chump change.
Yep, and that's up 27% higher than the previous year. So
Wow.
I mean,
That's
it's
pretty solid.
it's a crazy. I mean, think about how many games we bought this year and what we played through, and even the shit we didn't finish. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that's just kind of still on the shelf, but we definitely all spent a pretty penny on entertainment
Yeah.
this year. With the between games and buying like streaming equipment. I know everybody became a streamer in
Yeah.
2020. So you think
Yeah.
about it, if everybody becomes a streamer, what are you gonna do in stream if you can't go outside and do like IRL stream? You're gonna buy every video game you fucking can and keep people entertained and try to make money, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes
That's a
sense.
good point. I wonder what's gonna happen when like everybody can go back outside. Like is streaming and like just online activity gonna like plummet? Or is it like I don't know. Does it stay the same? Do people
I
get
don't know.
hooked to it or do they run as soon as possible? I don't know.
I kind of feel like this pandemic was a moment of self discovery for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people who are normally out there spending money and partying all the time might have discovered that they could save a lot of money and have fun at home.
That's
Because
true.
a lot of people that I never thought would be homebodies are like, yo, man, I'm just gonna kick it at home. Like,
Oh
you know
really?
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, cool. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm down to play Warzone, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, like,
Yeah.
fuck.
More people than ever are building like PCs. I know like at least 5 people.
Yeah.
Like my small
Yeah.
group of friends that are all building PCs is like holy shit, like coworkers, friends, everybody, like
Yeah.
nuts.
I built this PC with games. Games helped me build this PC. He pretty much did the whole thing by himself. 100% actually by himself.
I mean, you know,
And it
Mm,
was right before the pandemic. Like
it's true. That's the craziest part.
it was literally like the pandemic was already happening, but it hadn't come here yet.
yeah,
And maybe 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna be working from home," and I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm set."
yeah,
So I've used it more
good
than
time.
ever just to work, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a pretty crazy number, man. 56.9 billion. That shocked me.
How
Um,
much is that from FIFA selling fucking packs?
Right. And
56
Fortnite.
56.3 billion is from FIFA.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. In my last bit of news here, we have Troy Baker teasing that he has an interest in doing a Daredevil game. Okay, and
Yes.
yeah, that's a pretty big deal. I think that'd be awesome, especially with the success of Amazing Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man, and how well those games have done, and how good Miles Morales was. If you could tie it into that world, and also introduce like an aspect of the game, kind of like the whole superhero thing. You're roaming the city, Hell's Kitchen, nighttime.
Mhm.
But also introduce an aspect where you have to defend criminals and be a defense attorney in the daytime, like LA Noirish kind of deal. Imagine that. That could be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would,
Harvey
I think,
Birdman
like a
returning at
Phoenix Wright
last.
type of scene, you know.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Like
Phoenix, right?
imagine,
Yeah,
Object.
yeah,
yeah.
like object. Like imagine being in the courtroom and like shit happening in the courtroom, and you having to see if someone's lying and trip people up, and they could
Yeah.
have some fun with it. I doubt it'll happen that way because
That
it
sounds
just
like a lot of work.
yeah, it does, and it's
Yeah,
fucking Daredevil. Like I don't think they're gonna go that hard for him.
not this
Yeah.
early on. Maybe later if it's successful, but
Yeah, I'd be shocked if this game ever happens. Period. I feel like Troy Baker would be Daredevil in a game like Spider-Man Daredevil. I could see that happening.
Exactly. I was thinking that too. Like maybe in Spider-Man, and he has like a big chunk, or something like that. Or
Yeah,
maybe
that'd
if
be
they
cool.
release like a DLC to get people's appetite started, and then
yeah,
his own game, something like that.
yeah. Like
Could
there's too
happen.
many bigger Marvel characters right now that are on the front lines to like get their own game. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
just the honest truth. They're not gonna opt for Daredevil first, but in any
True.
case, I'm excited that Troy Baker, has interest in it because he's the man. He's the fucking. I like to call him the Tom Cruise of voice acting. Like one of those massive names in that world.
Yeah, it's
Even though
true.
Tom Cruise is not the Tom Cruise we love and remember, but there are
No.
certain actors of that caliber.
Yeah.
And I think he's definitely up there. So that'll be cool if it happens.
Yeah.
Very
Something I
cool.
just thought about that would be cool, is that we don't have any that I'm aware of. We don't have too many like besides Batman.
Hmm.
Like we don't have too many like closed quarters like Marvel games where it's just like like
Mm.
a linear narrative. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like where they could
Yeah.
show off their powers and have explorable areas and stuff like that. But doesn't necessarily have to be open world. So maybe someone would like Daredevil with that would be kind of cool since he relies a lot on vibrations and would work better to be in closed areas. His powers would work. In a video game seem like they would work better. But
Or if it's raining outside, you know.
oh, that's true. Well, that's what I'm saying. They got both. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it'd be cool. Like instead of doing a whole like you can explore a whole giant city,
yeah.
you can keep it where it's he has his own. Like it could start in New York, but then end up in a more linear thing. But
Wow.
it is what it is.
True.
But yeah, I think that's all we got right for the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all out.
I'm all newsed out, man.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the topic of the day.
Let's go.
Yeah, so what we're talking, if you guys are ready if you don't already know, we all of us were born in the 80s, grew up through the 90s. We got to see a lot of the we remember a time before the internet.
Yeah.
And we remember when video games came in cartridges and had to be pushed into into the console. and things like that. And we were there for a lot of the first thing. And if there's something you guys remember from back in the day, is that with this started in the NES, big time in the NES era, when when you bought a game and you didn't know what to do with said game, you got stuck somewhere, especially in those older games like Zelda 2 and Castlevania 2. We needed a guidebook. And so
Yep.
so this week we decided to talk. We wanted to remember and talk about a little bit of guidebooks, monthly magazines, you know, game inserts, things, paper. When video games came with paper and
Yeah.
purchasable paper,
The death of
not-
paper.
exactly. And with the rise of the internet, it became more and more
Absolutely.
obsolete. And it's a sad time because it made buying video games a lot of fun, especially when you couldn't play it yet. You're walking with mom, she buys you the game you want, but then she want to go stop at the supermarket and the store. It's like you can open your game, start looking at the pictures. It was awesome. And it's a time long past. And so we're gonna be discussing guidebooks and things like that today.
Nice.
But
Voice. Yeah, it's important, man.
yeah,
Near and dear to all of our hearts. I'm sure anybody who's around our age remembers that shit.
Oh,
exactly.
So
Yeah, you could still you want to start us off, Jose?
I mean, for me, I still have a few of my gaming guides. They have like writing and all over them and shit because I was stupid and would write codes on them. Like, I don't have paper. Fuck it. Like, I just, I didn't treat my shit too. I mean, I treated my electronics really well, but I didn't think ahead enough. Like, like some of my magazines are so torn up and everything like that. But one of the first ones that sticks out to me is when I got Donkey Kong Country 2 for SNES. It was a gift that my grandfather and my mom had got me, and it came with the guide for Donkey Kong Country 2. It came free,
Nice.
and it
but
was like,
separately?
well, it was like back in the days, like Toys R Us. You remember you'd go to get a game. I don't know if people remember. This is also going to show our age, but there
Like
was
physically? Like outside?
well, no, like yeah, like like basically like you had you'd go to Toys R Us, you go to the section where they have the video games, and there'd be papers, like 3, 4, 5 papers that had the game's name on them. You'd take that paper and bring it to the counter, and they'd give you the game.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So if there was,
yeah.
you remember
I
that?
remember
So,
that, yeah. They didn't trust us to have the games out there.
exactly. So you'd yeah, that what's funny? I think about that, and was that just like some New York shit?
It probably was, to be honest.
Because even now, I go out of state like a few times a year, and I'll notice that they'll have shit outside that is normally over the counter, and I'm like, whoa, this shit would not last
Yeah.
on the
Like, oh, wow.
125th.
You don't lock up your deodorant here, huh?
Yeah,
No.
they lock up
And
the
here's the
deodorant
thing.
right across the street. Like, I can't get a fucking Old Spice without having to ring a
Word,
bell.
yeah.
Ding
It's-
dong. Yeah.
Snotty
Fucking
motherfucker
obnoxious.
with glasses walks over with a key asking me which one. Like,
Oh
man,
my god.
Want to
Yeah,
smell
but-
fresh? God damn it, give me a fucking deodorant.
yeah, word. But they had paper, and then they also had the the magazine, and the magazine had papers too. So you'd have, if that little cubby or whatever didn't have the papers in it, that means the game was sold out. So they must have had it, and it basically, the magazine was free if you bought the game. So I remember coming home, and they lied to me and said that the game was sold out, and I was like bummed out, like, fuck man, this sucks. But then a few hours later they had it, and they were like, here, I guess they wanted me to like finish my homework first or something.
Oh,
And-
your mother lied.
Yeah,
Tricky.
for fucking with me.
Gatties.
Yeah, that's why I troll so much, man. They've been getting me since I was a kid, man.
It's good parenting, man. It's good parenting. Got to dangle the carrot. You want
Yeah,
that?
yeah, right.
Yo, I remember, like, I remember with our boy Nicholas. He
Yeah.
when we were like, what was it, Final Fantasy 7? I remember he didn't have any money, and I had like, he wanted the game, and I mean, he wanted the booklet. And I remember that shit was awesome, having the whole freaking walkthrough for Final Fantasy 7. But we got to the only fight
a
because I
good
didn't want to
walkthrough.
give him back the book, and then he gave me like a quarter, and then he was like, oh no, he gave me 50 cents. He goes, okay, I owe you $19.50. I was like, you can't. I was like, okay. And then I remember his mom came over, and he got mad because I didn't want to give him back the book. I was like, look, pay me back tomorrow. He owed me money anyway, so I was like, look, you gotta give me the money anyway. He was like, no, I got the money now. And I remember his mom came to my house with him, He gave
Trying
me
to
my
shake you down, son.
$19.50 to get his booklet back.
Like, yeah,
But
run the book, homie. Run
yeah,
the book.
he was so tight.
That's funny.
But yeah, that I remember getting those guidebooks. And it's funny that you say also the what's it called? When you bought a game and you got a guidebook. I remember what was it? I think it was Metal Gear. Might have been Metal Gear Solid 3 or 4 that I bought it at Circuit City. And I think it was 3, and I was hyped because I just went to go buy the game at it, and I was like, yo, this is when I think it was around the time I think like GameStop was just the only video game store. Right. And I was so hyped because I was not expecting the booklet, so I just went to buy the game, and then they were like, oh, here, this comes with it. I mean, this thick ass book that came with it. I was so hyped. I was like, that comes with it? They were like, yeah. I was like, oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real, man. Pre-internet, you could get stuck on some shit.
Yeah.
Like, there were games, like, I'm talking games with shitty graphics and glitches all the time, no patches. You know, games like Duke Nukem, Time to Kill, or Tomb Raider 1 and 2.
I was just gonna say.
Were fucking nightmares if you got stuck. You really were stuck.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, like, necessarily difficulty level. You know, in some cases, the games were really hard. Tomb Raider 2 was fucking hard.
Yeah.
But aside from difficulty level, you could just get stuck with no enemies. You don't know if you did some shit wrong.
Yeah.
You overwrote your last save. You're fucked. You know, like.
Yeah. Especially like in because you mentioned it, Tomb Raider. That was my first guidebook. I think was the Tomb Raider 1 guidebook. And without that, I'm pretty sure I would have never beat that game because there's so many secrets that just because the graphics you can't really see them that well.
That was the big thing.
It out. And so I remember I got stuck somewhere in a cave fighting this fucking tiger, and I just could not find the switch that I needed to like hit it to open up this door. And without that guidebook, I don't think I would have ever beat that shit. It's like it was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Those were the best things ever.
I've had several moments, some way dumber than they should have been.
Yeah, but
I remember in Max Payne 1, there's a part where like you're behind a fence, and I didn't know what to do. Like there was nothing I could do, and then I realized that there's a truck. It's like you're on a hill, and there's a truck going downhill, but there's like this little wooden stump like holding the truck in place, which is fucking ridiculous.
Super
and
random.
I shot it, and the truck fucking went down and like crashed and blew something up, and now I could move on. And I'm like, bro, you serious? Like in my mind, I'm like, that would not hold a truck. So
that's true.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking way too like that's not gonna hold a truck, so that's not my problem. Like I thought I was missing a doorway or something, you know, but yeah, I mean, there were a lot of games where secrets, you know, Donkey Kong had a lot of secrets. It had like secret bananas and secret rooms and coins that you had to get in order to pay, like to get to other parts of the island where there were secret, more advanced, crazy levels. And you know, these games were pretty in depth. And without those guys, I would not have been able to even touch that. You know what I'm saying? There's just no way that I was gonna. The strategy guide was an integral part of gaming back in the day.
Hell yeah. And it was great because they would like leave hints in the book too. Sometimes they wouldn't even like, you know, just spell it out for you.
Right.
They'd like get a little, you know, a little cheeky and shit, and they would just put like another hint in the guidebook, just like, and you know, you might want to check around that corner. You'd be like, oh damn. And then, you know, go find some dope shit.
Yeah.
It was I love those things, man. That like the CD cover of Metal Gear Solid. You know?
Oh right.
Figuring out the fucking frequency and
that was next level.
All that interaction, all that shit. You don't get that now.
You know, it's just absent. You know, there were a lot of games like that, man. Like I'm thinking now, you guys just got my memory jogging. It's crazy to think like how many games without a strategy guide. Like Tips and Tricks magazine was a huge one. Tips and Tricks magazine was dedicated to like, remember that? Tips and Tricks was dedicated to, first of all, let's shout out to Tips and Tricks because let's just talk about how they had
the magazine.
The magazine. Tips and Tricks magazine had a full-blown section. Right?
Go on.
You're stupid. I just caught that. The magazine. So Tips and Tricks magazine, right? Yep. You had sections that were full blown to different video games. Like you could have an RPG that had its own walkthrough, like 7 or 8 pages of that. You had fan art. You had comments from like, you know, developers. then you had like another part of, you had like they would do maybe 3 games per issue, I believe, maybe 2 or 3 games per issue, where there was like small walkthroughs for like certain parts of the game. And then the last part of the fucking magazine was N64, PlayStation, I think at one point Saturn was still in there, and it was like A through Z codes for different games.
Right, that I remember, and that wasn't that like in almost every
Every
freaking
tips and tricks,
yeah.
it was their
That's
thing, and it was color coded. And I remember getting codes for Jet Moto on there, like the most random games. Like I remember just going through there. There were times where I'd go to the store and I'd look in the back to see if they had the game I was looking for, and I'd be like, "Yes, this shit is coming home." You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? $5, I'm gonna be living tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
That's
it's
fire.
funny you said I used to get Game Pros back in the day, and those were my favorite. I used to love Game Pro, and I used to read the whole thing too. I used to read all the letters that people would write in or whatever. I've been doing this. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I still do that to this day. There's, comment sections and Twitter and all that. I'd be living just to see what people are talking about. But yeah, the little letters that people would write in and stupid things they would say, and I would read every single one of them, and I would read the full-on articles. I would read about games I didn't care about, and I actually used to listen to a lot of their reviews. Like if they gave something like a high score, like I knew it was gonna be good. Like I think the only game I honestly didn't like, which is a classic, but I didn't like it back in the day, was like Persona. That got like a 5, out of 5, and then remember how, which they don't do at, like, you're lucky if you even get a number, but remember when they used to rate everything, like audio, graphic, fun factor? Yo, not for nothing, like that means something, I kind of wish they would still do, maybe not give it a number per se, but like breaking down, like, how well a game was, because I mean, to me, it was fun factor. I mean, if the fun factor is high, graphics didn't really matter,
Right.
and and other things. And then, back in those days, pre DLC, one of the biggest factors that we don't really think about it anymore, well, it does, but reviews don't really talk about it as much, is replayability. That was another one that you read a lot about back in those days. Like, is this game worth a second playthrough? Is there anything extra after you beat the game? And that was a big deal. Like, it would get lower scores because it was a fun game, but after you beat it, that's it, there's nothing to do. So replayability was like a big deal. And it's like, a good game, like, think, the first game that comes to mind, because I had a walkthrough in a Game Pro, and I remember playing at your house, Atticad, because you had the PlayStation, was Resident Evil 2. No DLC.
Oh, wow, I still have that.
The Game Pro with the walkthrough?
I still have the game.
Well, you were saying it. Like, one was Claire A, and then the next episode, the next one, right?
I have that put away right now.
Fire. I had that shit.
Yep, it has Leon. Well, this is for Resident Evil 2. It has Leon on the cover on one knee with his gun, and the tyrants behind him.
Yeah, wow.
I have that. Yeah. And in that magazine, they also tell you about fighting Hunk. About that. And as playing as Tofu as well. First time I ever knew what the fuck Tofu was. I was like, what is that shit?
I was like, what?
Right? Like, yo, but yeah, I remember, and that's a game that had a lot of replayability, because you got, not only did you have 2 scenarios, but then you could flip it and play them again from the other point of view or whatever. And I think I beat every single scenario back in the day. I didn't beat it on the new one, but I played all of them. I had the unlimited guns, unlimited ammo. I had everything. I used to time myself. Talk about speed runs. Before speed running was before I knew speed running was a thing, I used to try to beat Resident Evil as fast as I could.
I remember that. You were like in love with that shit. Every time I was like at your place or talking to you, you were fucking playing Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 2 was my
crazy.
Shit. I loved that game. And then once I memorized the whole shit, I used to just like to blast through it. No saves, nothing. Just freaking run through the whole shit.
That's crazy.
I think the fastest I ever did it was 1 hour and 55 minutes. No, 2 hours and 5 minutes, I think, was the fastest I ever did it. I couldn't get under 2 hours.
Is there someone, like, what's the world record for that?
It's probably like right under 2 hours. I don't know though. Like a speed run, maybe 1.5 hours with perfection. I would assume, like, exactly where to go, how to do every tight turn, and I'm pretty sure like 1.5 hours is probably like world record.
Yeah, that's wild. Wild. Do you guys remember in the magazines, because this was another like favorite part for me at least, was they used to come with the demo CDs.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
get fucking, you get that free demo of, whatever new game was about to drop or some shit.
Was it PlayStation Magazine? Used to have those
I was
PlayStation
gonna say,
Underground demo
yeah.
discs.
I think it was
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I
Yeah.
got a Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks demo disc that I still have from
Nice.
PlayStation Magazine.
Nice.
And I remember playing that shit and being like, this is gonna be the fucking greatest thing that ever happened. And that
Yeah.
game was shit. That game was actually fucking awesome. Really good.
That's how I discovered Spyro. It was the demo
really?
CD. Yeah, sent out the demo CD, had Spyro on it. Tried
Oh,
that. I
wow.
was like, yep, definitely getting this. Or asking somebody to get it for me, however old I was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, Spyro. Yeah, those demo discs were the best. I remember
Fuck
we
yeah.
played a lot of King of Fighters 95 on with just Terry and whoever the other person was.
Right.
I was
Right.
like two pizza, me and Mike used to play that shit all the time. And
That's
then
funny.
there was what else? Crash Bandicoot, the second level of Crash Bandicoot. I played
Yeah.
that shit like crazy.
That's funny. Good times. Good times.
Oh yeah.
But even like it goes to like just the booklets you would get inside the game.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how you learn like combos for Street Fighter and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like go to the back of the book, you see all the different combos that you have. I mean, I guess you can look it
true.
up online now, but I don't know. There's something about having that paper book. You had it. That was your little secret guide.
Yep.
It was fire.
Exactly. Like I used to like you said, like if we bought a game because it was always with your parents, right? So it's like buy
Yeah.
the game, and if we had to stop somewhere, I used to love having the guidebook. Just
Okay.
and I used to have them, and I had Sega Genesis at the time, and having it have the clips for the book. I used to always keep that
Yeah.
shit perfect. I think I have most of my guidebooks.
That's
Nice.
wild.
Sega Genesis games.
I definitely do not. I did not take care of
I do
anything.
not have it in this one.
Oh, he's a liar. He's a goddamn liar.
Wow.
Can you believe he just lied to us?
First video
Right
chat,
to
you
our
gonna
face.
lie?
Right to our
I know.
face.
I guess I don't. I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I have some, but
Yeah, no, I mean that was a big part of it, man. Like opening up a box. You remember that feeling of the box just being packed, where you have to like force shit out, and you
Yeah.
get that new cartridge smell. Listen, man, games now is just literally it's the CD and that one thin paper with like redeem your code for a gold fucking vest.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'm not hype about that. I get annoyed that I have to even do that. Like
Yeah.
Right?
I wish it was just on there, man. But like I'm not that nitpicky, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying like it feels good when you bought a game and before you even played it, you started looking through the book and it came with a poster. Like I still have a Game Boy with all the inserts. That shit has the original Metroid poster. You know,
Wow.
it has
Fire.
the Nintendo magazine subscription card. It has all that shit. This is what you like. Not even systems come with that. I just got 2 PlayStation 5s and none of them shits have fucking. Like they don't bring anything but the most boring shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like
True.
it's just literally the little bag telling you not to choke, not to kill yourself with the bag. Like make sure you don't suffocate with the bag, and then the other part telling you, the warnings of like stupid shit. Like it's never anything fun. Like they don't have no posters showing you, and it's weird to me because Sony comes from that era. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Sony used to throw demo discs in with their shit and have cool stuff in there, But
Yeah,
that
'cause
they
now-
were the turn. They were where it became more of like an adult theme thing. I feel like even looking at the original PlayStation box, if you didn't look at the images on the back where you see these games, and you're a kid that's familiar with games, you're not gonna see this as a PlayStation as a game system. It didn't feel like one. It was
Yeah.
just gray and white and real standard lettering, and it just felt like it wasn't a game console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What sucks now is like all these things. It's pretty much they just want to charge you for it. They sell it and they transferred it to like the deluxe editions. That's when you finally get it comes with an art book or it comes with
Yeah.
whatever extra. So
That's the shit
is
that used
cool.
to come for free.
Exactly.
If you pre-ordered, you pre-ordered
Yeah.
at regular price. I remember I pre-ordered Beautiful Joe, and I got at
That's a good game.
GameStop, and you got a bobblehead, a ceramic like heavy, like bobblehead
Yeah.
like this big. So
Yeah.
mad I didn't keep that shit. I don't even know what happened to it in the end, but I think
No.
Next ended up keeping that shit. But
Yeah.
and
And
then
also Circuit City, like you mentioned before, Circuit City. Whenever you bought a game, tell me they wouldn't give you some free shit with it, like all
Yeah.
the time. It was nuts. I love Circuit City for that. They would always hook you up with like a guidebook, a fucking figurine, like something. Free
Exactly.
game sometimes. Used to love
And
that
even
shit.
Wind Waker on GameCube. That shit came with the Master Quest of Ocarina of Time. So you got Ocarina of Time from Nintendo 64 on a freaking GameCube disc with the Master Quest level. So you had, you know what I mean? You had a whole like new game to play pretty much, and that was just for pre-ordering it. So you pre-ordered it, they gave it to you, and then you had something to play until the game came out. And I didn't even have a Nintendo 64, so having Ocarina of Time on GameCube was fire. Like,
That is pretty dope.
yeah, like I miss those days, man, when you actually got like awesome things for pre-ordering. Now it's like you said, oh, day one edition, you get a blue vest, you know, like
Yeah, this shit's boring, bro. It's like they took a lot of the fun out of what it was to like get games, and even I mean the only company that I could say that does it is like uh Bethesda was doing it. Still, they were putting in some pretty cool like little
Were
booklets
they?
and stuff.
Oh, that's well. Skyrim, it came with like a cool map, right? I
Yeah,
remember that.
and then Rockstar does it still with the Los Santos map and all.
but
That.
that's
Yeah.
aren't those like the more expensive editions though?
I was
No,
gonna
those,
say, I
those come
think.
in the game.
Oh, I
Do
see.
they?
Grand Theft
Okay.
Auto 5,
Standalone?
yeah,
Oh, that's right.
it
That it
comes
came with
with
the map,
yeah,
right?
it
The
comes with
folded
the map.
map.
They always stay true to that. If they get rid of that,
Yeah.
then that sucks. But
All bets
What
are
about
off.
Red Dead? Did
Chaos
Red
on the
Dead come with
streets.
anything?
Red Dead did not. I believe Red Dead did not. I think Red Dead came with a fucking, a slip, maybe. I have to look.
Yeah.
I have to look. We have to verify that actually right now.
Yeah, I'd be. I don't know. I wasn't into Red Dead. You guys liked it though, right?
No.
Oh, nice.
No, I played it. I played it a lot, and I got burnt out. It was. I want to give it another chance, but no,
Boring.
I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to like it. Like not as much as GTA 5, that's for sure.
Nah, hell no.
Like I liked what it did. It wasn't really the game itself. Like I liked running around and riding the horse and all that, but it was just such a massive world, and that's all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bad
It was too real to life.
shit that took too long. Like opening a
Yeah.
drawer.
Yeah.
Like I don't really need to
Yeah.
get the whole realism part, bro. Like leave me alone with this shit. I don't want to do this for every fucking thing.
And then I feel
The
like fast
story
travel was a
wasn't-
pain in the ass, right? Wasn't fast travel like you had to run somewhere to fast travel?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't fast travel.
There was fast travel.
Was there?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
There's fast travel, but it was like only in the towns or something. So if you're in the middle of nowhere, you had to
Oh,
run
well, yeah,
all
yeah.
the way, and then you could jump. You could
Because you had to
fast
catch a train. That's why. It was either take a carriage or catch a train, right? That's how
Yeah, there you
fast
go. That's what
travel.
it was.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the ass. So I
Yeah,
think
they're
that's
just
kind of
slow
killed
as
it for me.
fuck.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. It's too realistic, I guess. I don't need all that realism.
Yeah, the game feels it's a pretty good game. It's just like that shit it doesn't it's the patience ain't there the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story too. It's just
I'm
the same
looking
shit.
at a little unboxing now, and yes, Red Dead does come with a map. So this is just something Rockstar has been doing a while. I just couldn't remember, but yeah, it comes with a map of so yeah, they kind of stick to the old ways,
The
That's
old
sweet.
ways.
That's sweet because it's like
Yeah.
like I said, you don't see that anymore, and it's like
Uh,
kind of sucks,
Yeah.
Like
it
you know,
does.
like I said, like you're already spending $60, and it's almost like the game companies are like, you lucky it's just $60. Like they're mad at it. It's almost like
like
they
they're
have
doing us a favor.
right.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, let's talk about Nintendo and their fucking cases that are this big for a game that tiny, and there's nothing in it. Like
There's
that's
nothing in it, yeah.
they started this shit. They should be keeping to tradition. Give us
That's
booklets, give us stickers, give us
I was
something.
gonna say stickers, something. Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah, like Animal Planet, like
Nothing.
all these games that have come out, like Animal Crossing and
Mhm.
fucking Mario Dynasty and all these games that have come out.
Dynasty's the sequel. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey. I said Mario Dynasty. But yeah,
It's not
no,
out
like, yeah, like these. Yeah, that's exclusive, guys. Like, listen, there's just some things that I know that you guys don't.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Mario Dynasty will be out. They steal our ideas all the time. So, yeah, but Mario Odyssey, games like that, like they've been doing away with that shit for a long time. Like no booklets, no stickers, no nothing, man. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of the way of the world right now, though, right? It's like going to Burger King and expecting to get a toy, a cool one. That shit is over
Yeah.
too. It's like all the little
They
cool
don't give
things
toys
that-
away at Burger King.
I think they do, but they're shitty now. Like we used to
Yeah,
get
they
full
still
blown.
get
Oh,
they still give them some stuff, but because I still take the kids, every now and then to McDonald's or Burger King. Mostly Burger because I can't eat McDonald's no more. But
yeah.
and there's always like, you get the once in a while joints, but even when I worked there, they were better. They were better toys. We got the Sonic the Hedgehog like Tiger electronic style.
Oh
Those
wow,
black and white crappy games or whatever.
Oh yeah.
When I worked at Mickey D's, they actually gave a bunch. They actually had those. I don't know what. I'm stupid because I'm like I became a collector in my as I got older. I wish I collected some of that shit from back in the day.
Yeah.
Especially my GamePro magazines, like we were talking about. I didn't save any of those.
I have a few. I gotta find them though. I have a few that have some pretty dope artwork on them.
Yeah, like lately now, that's what I've been trying to do. If it's a game I really care for, I'll try to get the artwork. Like I got the strategy guide for Animal Crossing just because not that we needed it, but I know that people, it's a big game, and I feel like that's something in the future might be worth something. So I got that, and the Metal Gear Solid, and
oh yeah,
and the other one. What's the other one? Death Stranding art book.
yeah. I got the same.
Oh, that's a good one.
The
That's-
art of
yeah.
Death Stranding of I got the art of Metal Gear 1 through 4, and I also got the Mario Dictionary.
The what?
Mario Dictionary. It's just like a bunch of artwork and like
It means this.
yeah,
The encyclopedia.
encyclopedia.
Oh, encyclopedia. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fire.
Shit is sick.
That's dope.
But,
That's dope.
Yeah, you have to like seek this stuff out and kind of just be on top of it. I got that also.
Nice.
That right there, because of COVID, took like an extra 5 months to get here.
Yo, it felt
Oh,
like
wow.
forever. I was like, yo, what is happening? Yeah, limited run games though. They're doing the Lord's work with.
Oh yeah, limited run games are the ones who stick to the tradition. Like they give you a shitload of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
dope.
what they do. I love that it says Genesis, even though this is what the PlayStation 4 version,
Yeah,
but it says Genesis on it. I love it.
That's fire. Yeah, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
Dope.
yeah, for that one game right there, I got like a bunch of stickers. Like like they know how to make you feel like you're getting your money's worth.
exactly. It's like those. That's why I'm like I want to collect some of that. Keep if it's a game I like, because I don't want to throw away too much money, because these things they're collector's items at this point. So it's like I just put them away and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I miss the days of just get that magazine comes into the mail, or you spend a couple dollars at the newsstand and it's just like or bringing it to school. Those were the good old days, man. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
having a fresh Game Pro. I mean, it's the same for a lot of stuff, man. Like me being a major wrestling fan, wrestling magazines. I remember Wow magazine, World of Wrestling. You know what I mean? Like that shit used to be. It was like the newcomer. It was like the newer magazine out of the new ones, out of all the magazines that were out at the time. And that shit was like thick. It was a thick magazine. I had like great. The covers were always awesome and like holographic covers and like glitter on them and shit. And they had interviews with like major wrestlers. I thought it was sick. I still have a few of those too. But I still have a few of them. But it's just kind of like everything media. Like when it comes to tangible, everything's digital.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
They get shit like Kindles and Nooks or whatever, and even books. Finding like hardcover versions of certain books is hard as fuck now.
Yeah.
Oh
True.
yeah.
We're gonna be
phone, so it's like
yeah, we're gonna be using seashells real soon.
Yeah, I mean the comic book industry is like, bro, that's probably one of the last ones where it's like necessary to have the print, and even
Right.
that's starting to change. Like I
I
give
was
it.
gonna say they already got some pretty badass readers out there, so who knows for how much longer.
Yeah, the good thing is that all these movies and like they've created like billions and billions of dollars that they've generated through these movies, and it gauges people's interest and has a lot of younger kids saying, "Oh, where's this coming from?" And they go and they buy these comics. But
True.
now you have people who could just go online and order them. You could order the comics, even if you want the tangible shit. You could just order it online, which means stores like Midtown Comics or um, GHU Comics. Comic stores that are look at St. Mark's Comics. That was one of the biggest ones in our city.
I
That shit
know. It's
closed like
whack.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
So,
Oh
Yeah, it
shit.
does, man, and that's
yeah.
one of the spots that I used to go to with friends after school.
You know
Yeah,
what it is now?
a dude from there put me onto the Deadpool right around the time of the Secret Wars. I got like the first 4 issues of Deadpool, and I kept trying to find them when they would come out. I should have just subscribed. I was like on it, like trying to get first prints.
Yeah,
To read them because they were funny. I was like, "Oh, this Deadpool character is funny." And then when they started picking up steam with the movies and all that started to come out, I was super hyped because I was like, "I'm a legitimate fan." Even though I only read like 4 of the comics, but I knew of him.
you're right. Yeah, man.
It's dope.
I
They
mean,
turned that spot into a fucking sushi spot, like the 10th
they?
one on St. Mark's. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
that's what
like
they
the
needed.
fucking ninth one on that block.
I know. When I passed by, I was pretty upset. I was like, "Wow, they closed it for another fucking sushi spot."
Man, listen, I know
Crazy.
this is a video game podcast and we're kind of veering a little bit, but St.
mean-
Mark's used to be nothing but crust punks and like comic book stores. Video Games New York was on that block.
Yeah.
Like it was literally Video Games New York was 2 doors away from St. Mark's Hotel. And if any of our listeners are not from New York City, or even if you're from New York City and don't know what St. Mark's Hotel was like, that shit is notorious for just illegal, fucked up crackhead activity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Video Games New York was 2-3 doors down from that. And
Safe place.
yeah, that's when they were it was a small store. They weren't as much of a, kind of like now that I feel like people come from all over the place to go to Video Games New York. It's like they're much more, they had crack a lot there, like it's a whole different game now. But back then the people who worked there were pretty cool. They had a lot of cool shit there, and it was a much tighter area. It was a much smaller spot, and then they moved like a few blocks away. But you had nothing but like music stores there. Like I remember this spot called Joe's Music, and like you walked up these steps and you just went, and there were 2 CD stores like right across from each other. When you walked up the steps, you could go right or left, and you would go there, and that's where me and my friends would find like early promo versions of CDs by bands that hadn't came out yet. Like I got System of a Down's, like their first album and their second album there for 99 cents as promo editions because they weren't out yet.
That's awesome.
And this was the case for a lot because they were sending them to labels, and I don't know how the stores got a hold of them, or maybe they were sending them to the stores. I don't know what what their system was like, but
Probably a little of both.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
trying to get it out there.
But
by
I
any
find a
means
lot of
necessary.
cool shit there. And then they had a spot called Sounds. You go up this big staircase, and there's like this huge wooden door, and that shit felt like a mini warehouse, like high ass ceilings. And
This is on St. Mark's too.
yeah, this is also on St. Mark's. And right next to that, you had Kim's Video, and Kim's Video had nothing but like B-rated, gory horror flicks and
I thought you were
crazy.
gonna say porn. I was like, this sounds.
Like
Kim's.
the first time I ever saw Fangoria magazine was in Kim's Video, and that place had like everything you could want if you're looking for something like, if you're looking for something like that nobody's like the movie you showed us yesterday, like
Rock and Roll
Like they
Nightmare.
would
Yeah.
have that shit there, Toxic Avenger, which isn't really like that's not really too much of a low key movie.
I was
but it
gonna
has
say that's a
cult
little
following.
bigger.
But they had all this shit I never heard of, and that was like an after school routine. We'd go to St. Mark's Comics, then go to Joe CDs, go to Sounds, Kim's Video. That was like a whole afternoon. Like
See, that's what I miss too. What are kids' like routines now after school? Unless if they don't play sports or like do music shit, like where do they go? You don't have arcades, you don't have comic book shops. I mean, a few, but very few. Like you don't got music shops anymore like that.
right.
So what
Yeah,
exactly?
I don't know. I feel like they could just go home and go on TikTok.
Yeah, I guess actually, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
Posted in the street. Yeah, I mean, I see
exactly
some
what they do.
kids, they walk around and stuff. I guess they find their places, get some, French
Yeah.
fries.
Like I see.
Yeah, chopped cheese.
It just kind of sucks because it's not like we're just talking like we're older people from, like there's literally not a lot of shit to do if you're a teenager out here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to do. That's why you see a lot of kids just posted up and like the stuff we used to do, like posting up inside a chicken spot or like the Chinese restaurant or like
Yeah.
a Wendy's, like as a group eating, and you just end up hanging out there talking shit and being ridiculous as a kid.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I feel like that's all there is to do now. If you're not playing ball or doing to some after school shit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Exactly.
arcades
Yeah.
are done. Arcades were like a huge part of our thing out here. Like we had laser comics. People were cutting school, or if you got out of school, it was straight to laser comics or cyber games. We also
Yep.
had the store downtown, Games and James and Games. You
Mm.
remember that? It was like a mom and pop spot.
Oh
Um, then we had a spot on 96th Street between Amsterdam and Columbus called Amsterdam and Broadway called Game Station.
I
And
remember Game
I was
Station.
gonna say
remember our
that sounds
boy worked there.
familiar.
Remember Gabe,
Yeah.
uh, Mel's brother. He worked there. Um, you had all these little spots. You could go to the pizzeria and have like the pizzeria on the 99th Street in Amsterdam had Ninja Turtles, X-Men,
Yeah. And
Simpsons,
RoboCop. I
RoboCop.
remember
Oh, did it?
RoboCop. I
Oh,
played RoboCop
nice. Wait,
there.
which pizzeria had that?
This
It
was
was,
on
it was
99th
on
in Amsterdam.
I think it's before
99.
your time because it closed when I was still young, and you didn't
Okay.
come around until you were like 6, I believe. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was probably closed by the time I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
right by 163.
Yeah, by my old school there.
It was right by the school PS 163, which
We
means
used to
people
go
can.
to, huh?
No, I was just saying people get out of school and go straight there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, lots of
It
places
was
had
probably home,
arcades.
the chicken spot on 97th
Oh
Street
man,
after they had the fighting games, and then I
yep,
would go to
Samurai
94th
Showdown.
Street.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
Should
had
we just like
Samurai.
start a company, start selling businesses arcade cabinets again? Just like
I know, right?
laundromats and fucking just find where the kids hang out and just build arcades there.
Listen, that's why I've had an idea where I said to myself, I want to do something like that. Like I would love to open up like these dollar slice spots. I would love to open
Yeah.
up like 2 or 3 spots like that and have old school arcades in them.
Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
You just have like Google Pay or Samsung Pay. You don't need coins and all that. Just boop,
Nah,
boop.
you know what? We're gonna take it back. Fuck that. You got to get
Keep it
coins.
old school.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
it old school. Give us $5. You get 20 quarters. Put that shit on the screen. Who got next?
Fuck
You
yeah.
want to
That's why.
fight for who lost and cool.
Yeah.
Like
That's why I still like Barcade, dog. Because you go there, you get your coins, have a
yeah,
beer, play some fucking arcades. It's a good time.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I would love to open up a spot like that and just have fun with it because that's
Yeah.
something that I know would be just a cool spot for it. I could see it catching on like slowly. Kids being like, "Yo, they have this shit like and dedicated arcade cabinets, no emulators, nothing like that."
Yeah.
That's why
But a cool spot where you can eat, you can have your pizza, you got music playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like cool vibe. Then hit the cabinets. Like
yeah, like to
some
this
dope
day,
shit
if
like
I
that.
smell a particular type of pizza, like the way
Yeah.
it's made, it reminds me of that pizzeria on 99th Street. Like I think about playing Ninja Turtles, X-Men, because
Yeah.
sense of smell is like tied to memory real strong.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say smell is crazy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it brings you back. That shit brings me back. We also had a spot on 110th Street where that Burger King was, Daniel.
Yeah.
D'Agostino, there was a fish market that was there, and that fish market had Mortal Kombat. That's the first time I saw the like real version of Mortal Kombat 2, because Mortal Kombat 2 on 96th Street, 97th Street next to Malecon, that one didn't have Kano and Sonya in the back in Shao Kahn's level where they're supposed to be chained up.
Really?
They weren't in there. They weren't in the game, bro. When I first saw Mortal Kombat at Burger Plus and at that spot, that version of the game did not have them in the back. It was just
Wow.
empty shackles, right? And Shao Kahn sitting there. I go and I'll never forget this shit. I go to that fish spot. I met up with we were about to meet up with Mario and his mom, and it was me and my mom. And I remember watching this dude play, and I'm noticing there's way more blood. I'm like, yo, he kicked him, and there's mad blood. Like, what the fuck? I'm looking at this like, yo, this is crazy. And then he went to the next level, and I saw Kano and Sonya shackled. And I'll never forget because I had read about this in one of these, like either an EGM or GamePro, and they said something about it was a certain version of the arcade, like 2.0 or something. And I asked the guy, like, is this blah 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 2.0? And I was like fucking 11 or 10, and he just looked at me like he didn't know what the fuck I meant. Like this is probably the version he had been playing all along, right? But
Yeah.
I was looking at this shit like, yo, this is fucking nuts. Like I can't believe I'm looking at this shit right now. That's when I realized like, oh, there's different versions of
Yeah.
arcades.
A
And
lot of arcades. Yeah.
Yeah, and but my point is, we had numerous spots. Like we had Cyber Games, we had Laser Comics, we had Broadway City Arcade, we had a Barcode.
Yeah,
You know,
barcode and
Excess.
excess. Yeah, too much is not enough.
Too much is
Yeah.
never enough.
didn't
Yeah.
that was the same thing? That was in the same building, right?
um,
No,
I
no,
think so. Yeah, yeah.
Two
no.
blocks like 50th Street.
Barcode was, yeah, it was like 45th Street. Broadway City was on 42nd, and then I think as well as excess was on
Yeah.
where the train is now. Like they turned that into a whole train station where
I
they
was gonna say,
perform.
yeah,
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 that was where excess was.
yeah.
And
I think for a while, Barcade did take over Excess's spot, but they moved it to their own spot like pretty quickly after.
Barcode.
I think another arcade spot took Excess's area for a little
Maybe.
while when they shut down. At least at first.
man, I mean, you remember what was happening at Broadway City too? There was like a shootout every fucking other weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
was
the
it?
block
Yeah.
out ghetto. Yeah, once the ghetto found out about it, that was it. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it ruined that shit, and it just that was it. Like for us at least, like I don't know when it started going away, when the arcade shit started going away for other people, but
Yeah.
for us that was definitely the sign of it just going away when all
Yeah.
all these places started closing. And then with Cyber Games, when Danny told us that he was closing Cyber Games, that was
Yeah.
it.
So it makes me wonder, like, what made these, like, because I understand, like, the paper switch, right? Like, I get it pretty much, no one wants to waste. We're all, like, conscious about it now, so we're trying to get away from it, everything digital. All right, I hate it, but fine. I understand it. But then it makes you wonder, like, why did these businesses, like, stop being successful? Like, gaming's only ever gotten bigger. There's no reason for them to have disappeared. Like,
Because I mean, it's
this is
no
all,
innovation. Because
yeah,
once the home console market caught up to the arcade market, because remember, you always got the dumbed down versions of an arcade game at home,
right.
Say for like a few really good ports, like Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
2 is really good on NES, things like that. But
Yeah.
other than that, like say the NES and Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo weren't that as good as what you could get on the arcade, even with PlayStation. Because PlayStation 1, you had, while you were getting close to it, you still, like Tekken was like almost arcade perfect, and Street Fighter Alpha looked great. Things like X Men vs Street Fighter, it's like, didn't run on it. But once the PS2 market hit, that's where it took the biggest hit, because then it was like, now you're getting these great home video games. Why make arcade cabinets? And then you have to sell them to the businesses and things like that. And I just think, it's like a lot of it is just, to me, they still exist, but it's like, if you look around at some of the newer games that are like out, it's like there's nothing innovative. Like they have, and that's really what it is. Because you could say, that's my opinion, you could say that, PlayStation 2, could look just as good as any arcade game. So it's like, okay, so but they just never evolved. I guess game companies said, why make arcade games where we could just make home console games where everyone's buying those anyway, and now you can download games. And so it's like, I just think it was just like, money pretty much at the end of the day, and no innovation. So
well, you also, I guess, brought up a good point too earlier when you guys were talking about just every arcade cabinet was different. It could be slightly different. So when you have when it's not together like that, and you're developing or trying to develop a game, and you have to keep in mind like 20 different slight motherboards or cabinet boards, and that definitely probably killed it too.
There's a lot of amount of maintenance that goes into maintaining machines, and they go bad like every week because people are jamming the buttons. It was an insane amount of maintenance. Like I know you remember when you played. I mean, we were in the middle of the projects. So if you ended up playing at a spot like Cyber Games or a Burger Plus, which was my introduction to arcades, it was a little chicken spot on the corner of 102nd and Broadway back in like 92. That place, if you had a bad button, the block button didn't work, or if the stick was jammed and you're holding back and he stays going back, that kind of shit didn't get fixed for like weeks. It wasn't like it wasn't like Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago, which I still want to visit. That place is awesome. They have nothing but dedicated machines, but they have people on there, on deck there who know the machines inside out, and these guys will fix it on the spot. They have a guy that does that, or they'll take the machine. They'll have like multiple of the machine, back in the day, if like when you saw that the shit was fixed, it was like, oh, or you'd come to the arcade
Oh.
and you know that both sticks on a Mortal Kombat machine are red, but this one was blue. You're like, oh, they switched it. It's a wrap. And you start playing, or like I miss
Yeah.
the little things about that. Like I miss going to see, like going thinking I'm gonna play Mortal Kombat because I see the Mortal Kombat cabinet and then looking and it's Street Fighter. Like, do you remember
Yeah,
shit like that?
yeah, I remember that. Like it'd be the wrong thing. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like you'd be in the wrong cabinet. You're like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And then you'd see that
Yeah,
they're playing like a whole different game.
that shit is charming now. I'm sure at the time it was like this ghetto as all fuck. What the hell?
Yeah,
And I used to be like, yo, this is ridiculous. I saw the guys that are in the Mortal Kombat movie actually back when they were in Australia. They put up a video of them when they were filming on a day off. They were playing
Uh,
Mortal Kombat, and it had the Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet and the Mortal
yeah.
Kombat 2 like little, the part on the top, the header.
Hmm.
But when they were playing it, it was part 3, and that shit just made me feel sick to my stomach, bro. It was like, God,
Uh,
man, y'all not even playing the right game. Like Mortal Kombat 2 is the greatest Mortal Kombat to ever come out, in my opinion. Part 1 was a great introduction. Part 2 was a fucking world of fire. Like that's when they really created their own world. And I think that to me is when I saw the arcade industry was dying. That's why I always talk about Mortal Kombat, because I saw Deadly Alliance come out and that went straight to PS2.
hmm
And I remember being
uh,
like, "What the fuck is a Mortal Kombat game doing straight to console?"
right.
Like that felt weird. It was like, what's going on? But
Yeah.
again, the power and just being able to work and not care about yo massive cabinets. You know what I'm saying? The rollout for massive, like Midway and companies
Right.
like that know the grind. Those dudes were doing shit before it was easy.
Yeah.
yeah,
When it came time to simplify shit, they were with it, and the whole industry
Yeah.
followed suit. The whole industry was with that too. So I
Yeah.
understand it.
Untapped market, man. They had to hit it, and it was a good
yeah,
idea. Look at
Yeah,
what they just made this year, right? Or last year. So.
yeah. I mean,
They made
this is
money.
why I feel like this is a perfect time to start slowly rolling back to tradition. Like start giving us some pamphlets, give us some booklets, some stickers. That kind of stuff is necessary. I feel like that kind of shit.
Yeah, sadly, I think we're just a bunch of old men reminiscing, and I don't think we're getting shit in paper form anymore. I think we're out of luck.
Get when you don't involve the fun stuff anymore. You get a bunch of babies crying on fucking Kotaku comments about like
Yeah.
you see I complain about fucking Cyberpunk, as much as anyone. Like I complain like yo, this shit is a broken game, and I'm waiting for them to do the major patch. But
Yeah.
I'm not one of those dudes in the comments who's like overly fucking upset, like trying to death threat somebody. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
would never over a
And I feel
game.
like those people came from they're in this era. Like they come from this spoiled ass era. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that shit, man. Like have some fun, bro. Like I don't wanna take it that serious, bro. It's not that fun anymore once you start doing that. I'm not trying to threaten nobody's life because a game
nah,
didn't come
yeah,
out when it was supposed to. Like that's stupid.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
I come from an era where a game was broken and you just had to play that shit.
yeah. That was a feature. Okay, that's not a bug. That's a feature.
The game being broken just was what it was.
Right. But yeah, I think we covered some good ground on this one today. But yeah, it was fun reminiscing. I definitely would love to see. I mean, like I said, I'm happy we got things like limited run and I guess those deluxe editions. Just if you want to spend an extra $50 on the stuff, but
Yeah.
hopefully, there is a resurgence in home arcades, so that's kind of cool. I'm like, if I had the space, I would totally like build a cabinet, that has everything. But yeah, I would love to definitely see something like that in the future. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think we can wrap it up from here. I think we talked about a lot of good stuff today. Any last words for the people out there?
Bring back game pamphlets and posters, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say this: Limited Run does it with video games, right? Where they put together these, these cool packages of video games and like put out these limited pieces. I feel
Yeah.
like we should start doing the same thing and create our own like fanzine and give people the feel of Game Pro days.
Right.
I'm putting that out right now because if anybody does the shit, we know where they got the idea from. Like the Videogamesxlife fanzine, and it's like presented like a dope ass game pro, and we do it monthly, and people subscribe, and we send it out. We get people who are friends of ours to do some dope artwork, and we put our 2 cents and have guests on it. You know, that shit would be awesome.
That
Not
would
for
be cool. Or at least a couple of special editions, right? Like, have like, limited editions at first and then go from there. I like that.
VGXL fanzine would be sick, man.
Fire.
That would be what it called, VGXL instead of
Yeah.
double XL, VGXL.
Yeah, and we could do trust me, there's so many ways we could spin this and make it fun and make it awesome and make people actually want to buy it. It's all aesthetics. Like if we could
do it like the first Nintendo Power, have me in a claymation holding a mushroom.
There you go.
Instead of Mario.
Perfect.
the beginning
Classic.
of a new era. And then I'll just fill the back with cheat codes that ain't real. Because that's
Right.
another guide. Where are the cheat codes? Rockstar
I
still
know. What cheat code, bro?
Where are the cheat codes? Like, I'm not
Sad.
trying to like fucking do the whole cheat online shit. I'm talking about why can't I just walk
Yeah,
around?
but in single player, they should have something.
Yeah,
Things like big heads, like something goofy, just
That's true.
like, Rockstar did it with GTA 5. Where
Exactly.
they I feel like those guys, they understand. I don't know, maybe I'm just I don't know what games are doing it. Maybe there are games that are doing it, but when's the last time you ever heard of a major game having funny ass cheat codes?
I know.
they don't have them
I
anymore.
think people take the shit too serious now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's whack.
Yeah, hey, what can you do? I can't have it all. We got to make some shit happen though.
Exactly.
Cool.
We will. There's gonna be some big things coming from VGXL, so be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely.
But definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in again for episode 14 of the VGXL podcast. Was there anything you want to add, Adocad, or you good?
Let's go Knicks.
Uh,
You're looking good out there. Thibodeau got us. Hey, fix your face. Fix your face. You're looking good out there, baby. Let's go Knicks.
all right. But again, thank you everybody. Again, follow us on Twitter for our updates. Thank you if you're watching us live. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here on YouTube. I appreciate it, and look for more content coming to YouTube soon. And have a great night, everybody.
Later.
Deuces. Later.
Okay. And cut. Oh wait, I'm still recording audio. Shit. No, stop recording.